I slept in my car that first night with the house keys still warm in my hand. They told me to leave before sunset, said it calmly too, like they were asking me to run an errand. My sister stood by the door with her arms folded. My mother wouldn't look at me, and my brother kept clearing his throat like something was stuck there. The walls of that house, my house, felt closer than they ever had, like they were listening, like they knew what was happening and couldn't stop it. I remember thinking I'd just step outside for air. Just a few minutes. That's what I told myself as I walked down the driveway, the concrete still warm from the afternoon sun. But when I turned around, the front door was already shut. The lock clicked. That sound followed me all the way to the car. Before all of this, my life wasn't perfect, but it was steady. And at my age, steady meant everything. I'd bought that house 12 years earlier, right after my divorce. A modest 3-bedroom with a narrow porch and a fig tree out back that dropped fruit faster than I could pick it. The paint had peeled in places, and the kitchen sink had a habit of groaning like an old man when you turn the faucet too hard. But it was mine. Every inch of it carried my fingerprints, where I'd patched the drywall myself, where I'd measured the hallway twice before hanging family photos in crooked frames. Family mattered to me, maybe too much. My mother had moved in with me 5 years earlier, after her knees started giving out. Then my sister, just temporarily, when her rent jumped. My younger brother followed after losing his job, sleeping on the couch and promising it wouldn't be long. I told myself it was what families did. We made room. We adjusted. We endured. I worked long hours at the clinic downtown, a job that required more patience than praise. I'd come home tired, my shoes humming against the tile, and find dishes stacked in the sink, voices loud in the living room, the TV blaring something I hadn't chosen. Still, I didn't complain. I cooked dinner most nights, simple things. Stews that simmered while I changed clothes. Rice that filled the house with a warm, nutty smell. Food had always been my way of keeping peace. Sometimes, late at night, when everyone else had gone to bed, I'd sit alone at the kitchen table and listen to the house settle. The tick of the clock. The low groan of the pipes. I'd wrap my hands around a mug of tea and remind myself, this is what you worked for. This is what stability looks like. The first sign something was off came quietly. It was a letter I almost threw away. White envelope. Official looking. My name typed neatly across the front, but the return address was unfamiliar. I opened it standing at the counter, the kettle screaming behind me. It was something about property reassessment. Legal language. Phrases that slid past me without meaning much at the time. I remember calling my brother into the kitchen, holding the letter up. "Do you know what this is about?" I asked. He barely glanced at it. "Probably nothing. They send those all the time." My sister said the same thing later, brushing past me with her phone pressed to her ear. My mother waved it off with a tired hand. "Don't worry yourself sick over paper." So I didn't. I trusted them. More letters came. Then phone calls I missed while at work. Voicemails that used words like transfer and authorization. Each time I brought it up, I was met with sighs and eye rolls. "You're overthinking," my sister said. "Let me handle it," my brother insisted. And I let them. I wish I could say there was a moment when the truth became obvious. Some sharp, cinematic instant where the room went quiet and my heart dropped. But real life doesn't work like that. It unravels slowly. Softly. Like a thread slipping through your fingers while you're distracted by something else. The day they told me to leave, it was raining. Not a storm, just a steady, patient rain that darkened the edges of everything. I'd come home early, a headache pounding behind my eyes, and found my sister sitting at the dining table with a folder in front of her. My brother stood by the window. My mother was on the couch, hands folded in her lap, like she was waiting for bad news. "We need to talk," my sister said. Those words always mean something's already decided. She slid the folder toward me. Inside were documents. Deeds. Signatures. My signature. Only it wasn't mine. They told me there'd been a transfer. That it was for the good of the family. That the house was now under my brother's name, on paper only. They said it had been easier that way. Cleaner. Temporary. I laughed at first. A short, disbelieving sound that didn't feel like it belonged to me. You can't do that, I said. That's not how this works. No one laughed back. That's when my sister said it, the sentence that still echoes in my chest. You don't own this place anymore. I don't remember everything after that. Just fragments. My hands shaking as I picked up my coat. The way my mother stared at the floor. The rain soaking through my shoes as I stepped outside. And then there I was, sitting in my car, the engine off, the house dark behind me. I slept in the driver's seat that night, my neck crooked, my breath fogging the windshield. The smell of damp fabric and old coffee filled the air. Somewhere around 3 in the morning, I started to cry, not loudly. Just tears slipping down into my collar, quiet as the rain tapping the roof. I didn't know then that this wouldn't be the last night I'd sleep like that. I didn't know how far things were about to go.